feel like people don't realize how dangerous retail work can be.
Or can be more hazardous than they let on.
Yeah, because like if you're going into a job that has like a hard hat, like you know what you're getting into. But if you're like you worked at a deli once, right?
Well, so I worked at a deli, and they were refacing the deli. They were replacing all the counters with new glass and countertops. Someone, like one of my bosses, told me, pick up that thing and move it here. It wasn't like technically part of my job. I was only supposed to be slicing meats, but they were paying me, so I picked it up. Unbeknownst to me, the thing I was picking up had like a metal-shaped like U-hook in it.
Oh.
So I picked it up. The metal slid out, and it sliced my thumb from the top of the nail down about halfway down into the nail. It just cut through my finger like butter. And the really shitty part was before they got me a Band-Aid, they got me a release saying I wouldn't sue.
Oh.
And I had to sign that or was fired on the spot.
What if you refused?
Then I would be fired on the spot.
Yeah, but like, couldn't you still sue if you were fired?
Well, I was 17.
Alright, so that wouldn't have occurred to you.
Yeah, That's
fair.
I might have been 18, but I was so young and fresh in the workforce. And I was so like brought up in the 1980s mentality of you just walk into a place and say, "Do you have a job?"
Right.
And like by the time I got out of college, that shit didn't fly anymore. I looked foolish doing that. But I was in the deli working through college, and it hurt myself pretty well. I had to go home that day because I got lightheaded. I had to, I signed the thing, and they gave me a Band-Aid, and I taped it up, and I held it over my head for like half an hour in the food court, and then it was still like bleeding, so I'm like, I'm going home. And I took the pay cut. I lost 3 hours of work to go home. And
because you were injured.
Because I was injured on the job doing something that was not part of my job.
Oh, no, unions.
Yeah, I wish unions are so good. My worst union job has been 10 times better than my worst non-union job.
Unions for everybody.
And when I worked retail, I was very open about that fact. Because I worked
Yeah.
retail and I had done stuff with unions. And whenever they showed me anti-union propaganda, I'm like, no, we should have a union. And if they offer one, I'll join it.
Yeah. I don't know who I would have spoken to at mine where I got injured. Because
it was a much smaller shop, I think. Because the deli was small. I think it was only 5 people. But the store itself was an entire grocery store.
Well, see, for me it was the other way around. Because we were in a branch of a much bigger, I'm just going to say, card and candle shop. So the brand is actually really big, but ours was just this little piece of shit branch.
Yeah.
And I actually really liked working there. But it was, me and a bunch of middle-aged women. And I was 20 at the time. And it was a small enough store that one day I was cutting boxes with a box cutter, as one uses to cut boxes. And we didn't have a designated spot for it. So...
The cutting of the boxes?
Yeah. So I was told to do this task. Okay, and it was me and one other person
Did
working.
they show you how to safely use a box cutter?
Oh, sure. I knew how to use the box cutter. The problem was the space, because I didn't want to do it in the middle of the store where there were other people, like shoppers. So I went into the back room. The back room was basically a hallway with shelves. So I sat on the ground of the hallway with shelves with my box and the box cutter, and I'm very small, so the box was very big in comparison to me. And I was using the box cutter. And then the other person working with me, again, not a big place, it was a small space, but I guess she didn't realize, oh, Rowan's not out here, must be in the back. Maybe she thought it was in the bathroom, I don't know. She immediately forgot where I was, I guess, because she came back and wasn't looking where she was going and kicked the box that I was cutting. And I didn't realize she was coming, so the box went flying, and then I noticed that my box cutter was, I thought, past my shoulder? It was in my shoulder.
Oh, no.
It was in my shoulder.
Oh, no.
And I took it out because I was in a little bit of shock.
Well, that's you don't want to do that. If
No.
there's something stuck in you, you want to leave that in until the medical professionals get there.
Right.
Pro tip, listeners, if you've got a thing stuck in you, go to a doctor before you pull it out, because that could just be the cork of the rest of your blood.
Right. And there was a lot of blood. But, I just I was semi in shock, and I didn't want her to feel bad. I remember specifically, like, I didn't want her to feel at fault, because then she went, oh yeah, you're back here. She did ask if I should go to a hospital, and since I was not in my right mind at all, and I'm not even sure what I was part-time. I don't know that I had insurance. I don't think I did.
You're probably still on your parents' insurance?
Probably. I took some duct tape.
But we were also like, my parents had pretty good insurance. I assume your parents had pretty good insurance, but still it was brought up like, you don't go to the doctor unless it's an emergency, because it's expensive.
Yeah, I hadn't cut anything off.
Yeah, unless I broke something, I did not go to the doctor.
Right. So instead, I took some duct tape. Yeah, company duct tape. This was, from the store.
Yeah.
Didn't pay for it. And I took off a piece and I taped my arm and went back to working until the person I was working with did call the manager. And the manager came over to just check out what was going on, because she got a real vague message from this girl. Lady. Woman. And...
Hey, Rowan stabbed herself and is bleeding all over?
Right. So my manager just kind of looked at me and went, well, are you okay? Do you have any... Like, you can feel that arm? You're okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. And the manager... I don't know if I was paler than usual or what. I thought I was fine. But the manager just sent me home. It was just like, you're done for the day. It's fine. You can make up the hours. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. I don't think I actually got a pay cut that day. I think that I wound up just as
Getting
though...
the whole day pay?
Yeah, as though I was there the whole day.
Well, they realized that was better than you suing them because they didn't have the forms ready.
Yeah, I didn't sign anything. You immediately got paperwork. I
immediately got paperwork. Before I got a Band-Aid, I got paperwork. It was such bullshit.
Yeah, I did not. They just kind of went, are you okay? Oh my god. This is the same place that had me work Christmas alone, because I was
Just
the
cut
only
her the
Jew.
extra $15.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I did stuff for this company.
You weren't there long either. It's just
No, I was there like 3 months maybe?
but through the holidays.
But through the holidays, and I worked alone on Christmas. Open to almost close. Entirely alone. On Christmas, because I was the Jew. And they figured, what else am I doing? That's another story. But yeah, no, we've been injured. In jobs that other people would say are not hard.
I still have a slight bump on the thumb where it didn't quite heal properly.
I've got a little scar that you can only really see if I'm suntanned. Otherwise, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's a small bump. I wish I had known more about labor rights when I had started working.
Yeah.
I also started working when I was 14. That was my birthday present, was getting my working papers at 14 and getting a job.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
This box cutter incident stabbed myself in the shoulder at 20. I had already been stabbed in the hand with an X-Acto knife, and in a situation where I couldn't get to a hospital even though I wanted to, because we were snowed in. And no one knew we were there, and there was no electricity or anything.
Oh, this was after that. Okay.
Yeah, because that was at art school.
Okay.
And so, I still have a funny thing that happens in my thumb sometimes in certain weathers because of that just getting, severed for a little too long.
Huh.
So I think that because I went through other things, by that point it was box cutter to the shoulder, whatever. That's not great.
When you're young, there's that weird, I can handle it toughness, and then you're older, you go, don't handle it. You should have sued.
I want to shake past me. It's do not.
Don't sign that paperwork, make them fire you, and then collect unemployment for that shit.
Yeah.
I would have made more money on unemployment than working there for the next 3 months.
I don't think I even told my parents I got stabbed in the shoulder. Got stabbed makes it sound like someone else did it. I stabbed myself in the shoulder.
Well, someone kicked a box you were cutting, so...
That's true.
There was a stabbing that occurred.
There was an accident.
And you weren't wholly at fault.
No, and neither was she. But, I don't think I told my parents.
There was a knife in your shoulder, and they met from no one's specific fault. No one stabbed you.
They met and fell in love.
Knife in the shoulder. Couple made in heaven.
I'm gonna call that the end.
Rock on.
Rock on.